Rock, Paper, Scissors is a thriller that tells the story of a young couple who are navigating some issues in their relationship, and before they come to any resolution, they're the victims of a home invasion, which obviously adds a lot more trauma and a pile of issues to their already struggling marriage. So they try counseling, they try talking it out, nothing seems to be working until they meet a bit of an experimental therapist who basically tells them they have to do something about it themselves in order to get better. And they interpret that as finding these guys and getting their revenge. Well, Josh Lee, my co-writer and co-producer, and I are great friends, and we have similar tastes in movies, and revenge is one of those things that lends itself certainly to some great stories. But usually it's revenge by one person who's been wronged. John Wick, Death Wish, any Western, many Westerns. But we wanted to look at revenge through the eyes of, instead of it just kind of affecting this one person, tracking down the evildoers. What if it were two? And what if it were two in a relationship that already was struggling? What would he do to them? Not just, hey, I'm going to find these guys, we're going to get them. But what does it do to the people that go through that? What does it do to their relationship? So that was really what was most interesting to Josh and I as we wrote the story. Wow, not easy. We had a bunch of auditions. Actually, had a couple hundred people audition for the main two roles. Now, luckily, having had some experience in a few other films, I had some people that I knew that I called in, and Timothy Laurel Harrison was one of them. She actually had auditioned for a film that I had done about 5 years prior, and I did not cast her. I cast someone else, but we kept in touch. And when this was going up for auditions, I told her, I said, you should look at this. There might be a role that's right for you. She auditioned, and once she auditioned, Josh and I knew she was it. So she was cast first. We read her with a lot of guys, and we're near New York City, so we really have access to a great pool of actors. And it just wasn't clicking for us. And she suggested Jeff Riberty. She had known him prior and had actually read some of these scenes with him in preparation. She said, I'm reading with this guy, and I think he's great. Well, she was right. We brought him in, and they killed it, and they were amazing. And because these two roles really go through some heavy lifting emotionally, we really like the idea that these are two people that already knew each other, that trusted each other, and they just had to trust us. And everyone else on the cast and crew I had known or was referred to me, so we really created an atmosphere of trust, so they could explore these intense emotions. Well, Rock, Paper, Scissors kind of gave us the concept of randomness in a way. It's such a simple game, right? It's such a simple game, and it is quite often random what you throw, although the competitive Rock, Paper, Scissors players might disagree with me. There is a randomness to it, and these victims were chosen in a bit of a random way. And in addition to that, the title is referenced in the film a couple of different ways that I'm not going to, I almost said reveal. I guess I can say reveal and reveal, right? We're not going to reveal how Rock, Paper, Scissors is referenced in the film. You're going to have to check it out to find out. Go back to a previous question, building an atmosphere of trust. We had to have trust with the actors that are going to go through all this intense stuff, right? And I had to have villains that I knew very well. So I actually play one of the villains, and then 3 friends play the other villain. So these are the dastardly players in this story, and I needed to have people that I could also trust, and I did, and that I knew that we could kind of convey that trust to Jeff and Timothy. So that's number one. Number two, having a little bit of leeway to explore and really explore what was going on for each character within the confines of a schedule and a budget and a time frame, etc., and within the confines of safety. Really let us kind of go to places with these actors that we really didn't think we would and weren't prepared to. And the end result is I'm still dear friends with all of them. So I think they had a very good experience, and the story is the end result. Josh and I, we have similar tastes in movies, and there's a couple touchstones for us that we did discuss in the beginning stages of this, and that was Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave. Now, if you're thinking of those films and you watch this film, it's very different. Those are very raw, they're graphic, they have that gritty nature that many of the 70s horror films did. That's kind of how it started, at least in my mind, and in Josh's to begin with. But once he got involved with the real writing of the script, it became more cerebral and more psychological. And it turned into something that I didn't originally intend, and it became something bad, quite frankly. And once we added the skill set of the actors and our amazing crew, and they brought their stuff to the table, it started to turn into something different. Certainly not better, because we love those films, and by the way, they're also referenced in this film. But it turned into something that became more thought-provoking than we originally intended. We thought, okay, revenge, good guys, there's bad guys. The good guys are going to get the bad guys tied up nicely at the end. It became something quite different, and we're really happy that it did. Well, many challenges, like any independent filmmaker, time and budget and people and weather and someone getting into an accident and COVID, and that list you can say for anybody that's made a film in the last 5 years, certainly, but certainly any independent film has all those challenges. But the biggest challenge for us was that it was better than we thought. And what do I mean by that? We had planned to shoot this in about 10 days to 2 weeks. We had a pretty tight schedule. I used to be a first AD, so I kind of have scheduling in mind when I'm directing. And after a couple days, we started looking at the footage and thought, oh man, this is just, they're better than what we wrote. You know, the actors are better than what we wrote. It looks better than what we paid for. It was elevated by the cast and crew, quite frankly, and that didn't stop, right? That happened in post-production with the editing and the music and the sound. It just, every step of the way, other people made it better than we originally thought it was, and because of that, it took us way longer than we originally intended. So although that was the biggest challenge, it also helped to make it what it is today, something that we're very proud of. Ooh, well, some of the same people that are in Rock, Paper, Scissors are involved in our next project, and it's called Scrawl. And Scrawl tells the story of a writer that's not really having too much success. And he kind of fashions himself as something that he's not. And he's afforded an opportunity, a bit of a chance opportunity to kind of improve his station a bit and improve his situation as a writer. But it's a bit risky, and it's a bit scary, and it's a bit grungy, and it is a series of questions like, how far will he go, and what does it take to get success? And hopefully that's another thriller that fans of Rock, Paper, Scissors will love, because we've already shot portions of it. We'll be shooting more of it in the next few months here, and that'll be a project that hopefully will be ready for your eyeballs by the end of the year.
Sometimes I think what it would have been like if I got my hands on the guy.
This is only the beginning.
If we don't push back, the cycle